Hi, guys. Happy Monday. Just give it one more minute and we can start. And for those of you who cannot hear me, take a look at the presentation. You may need to give permission to your audio devices, and then you can connect your audio button and we can all listen to each other. Okay, guys. Hi, Kristen. Thank you. So today we are going to start. I just wanted to put this up for anybody who has any trouble listening to the sound. Again, make sure to connect your audio and we will move on. So our next slide, we're just going to cover the agenda today, Jira usages, bug reports, and test cases. Don't get overwhelmed. We are going to cover each individual item, and if we have any questions, we have a Q&A later. And before we start, for those who I have met, hi again. And for those who I have not met, my name is Chang, and I am currently the QA lead over at Viking Cruises out here in Woodland Hills, California. And I'm excited to be on this journey with you guys. So when we have our Q&A, don't be shy, ask the questions, and I'd be more than happy to address any concerns that you have. So our agenda today is we're going to look at just using Jira. And for those of you who are currently on this webinar, I want you to make sure you can log into Jira, that you have a Jira account, and you're not doing this blindly. And if you're just taking notes so that you can access Jira later, then do so. But make sure you have the ability to practice. And that's how you get acclimated and be proficient with Jira. And then we'll cover bug reports, and we have a template that we will give you in Confluence that we want you to follow, because these are just some of the templates that you'll see in the working world, and we'll cover that as well. Bug reports as well as user stories, and then we'll go over the homework assignments, and then we'll leave 7:45 to 8 o'clock, the last 15 minutes, to address any questions. Okay? So if you have any questions as I'm going along, you can you're more than welcome to type that information in the chat, and I'll address it as I see it, but then I will revert back to what it is that I'm speaking to. So Jira usage. Can I get a show of hands where everybody has the ability to access their Jira? And I'm going to go into, thank you, Zakia, nice to see you again. I'm going to share, and we're going to go to our Confluence page. Give me 1 second. Closing that, I'm closing that. And I'm going to share new share, which is, so everybody can see the main Jira board for BQ5, correct? Is anybody seeing this on the screen? Good, are we good? Yes, awesome. So has anybody on the chat tonight created a bug report? I know that Marina went over the information with you this past Saturday about bug reporting. Vahe, you don't see the screen. Okay. I am not sure why you aren't seeing the screen. I think everybody else has. So Zakia, do you have a bug number that I can pull up so we can just take a look at what you have already written? Okay, so I went ahead and messaged everybody the, okay, Nazar, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up your bug ticket. Do you see that little search bar? That's using the JQL, and we'll cover a little bit later on after we just go ahead and take a look at this particular bug report that Nazar reported. So you've created a bug ticket, button transports not functional. So let me see if I understand this. If I were to go into Dean's, do you see the Dean's website, everyone? Okay, I'm gonna try to follow exactly the bug report. Okay, it says, so in this particular case, Nazar, should I be a logged in user? Okay, so one of the things that you should write on is you don't have to be an authorized user. You don't have to have an account. This is strictly just logging in, just to note, because the developer might say, is this just an issue just logging in? When you work in real time and with other developers, engineers, and things like that, you don't want them to constantly give you questions. You want to be able to say, this is not a logged in user. It's not a user that has signed up. It's just somebody who's just going into the website and just clicking on my trip. So that's something that you definitely want to note in there. One of the things is, you know, we create bug reports, and this is just kind of a template on how we create bug reports, just on where we would click. This one lists the environments. I know that we're going to get a little bit more detailed in the future about exactly what environment, and I know it's mentioned in QA, so we'll just leave it as QA in our testing. But we definitely want to put, where did you test this in, like what OS, what Windows. So let's see, user does not need any credentials, and OS, if you test it on OS/Chrome browser. Nazar, would this be kind of a good description as far as like Windows 10 Chrome browser? So you're seeing what I'm saying. Is it described in the environment? See, I see it. I apologize. I apologize. So I did see it. And then we just want to add the, whether it's a logged in user or not a logged in user. Does that make sense? But so, I mean, this so far, click on my trip, planning trip from point A to point B. These are all great attachments. I'm looking at that. This looks good. I did. Thanks, Elena. I did not see that. I was getting too excited trying to demonstrate this. Thank you. Yep, you got it. Environment right up here. Okay, guys. Let me just, I want to go over just the basic bug creation, and I'm going to switch screens again. New share. So I just wanted to give a quick overview of just a bug. Thank you so much. And Zakia, I'll take a look at the 324 and Constantine for the 406, but I just wanted to look at one bug, and I appreciate Nazar for sharing. So we're gonna go and discuss JQL, burn down chart, and why it's important. I see that. So a bug. You find a bug, you report the bug, and guess what Jira is? It's a tracking system to report bugs. Easy as that. And I actually want to, Guya, okay, it looks like you are using an older version of Zoom, so I can't allow you to talk. So do you mind typing your question and maybe I can answer it? Yes. Okay, go ahead and type your question. Yeah, it looks like you're using an older version of Zoom and it won't let me allow you to talk. Okay, as you're typing, I'm gonna go over to Dimitri. Dimitri, go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
So I have a question because I just registered in Jira and I assigned some task to try practicing. And when I assign the task, I do not understand kind of clearly where is supposed to be see the problem. I see it's like the report already been finished and it's like example for us or we have to solve that. So like a little bit.
Are you talking about a task or a bug?
I'm talking about task which we have found in Jira. For example, when we go Jira.
Hold on for a second. Let me share my screen so we can all see what you're talking about. So I'm going to go back to Jira, and you're saying that if I go into, yes, let's say basic QA5
project, then we go to QA5. Yeah, we will see the task for us, which was already created, and they reported the all reports or assignments for some of the students. So I pick one already, and I try actually solve the problem, but I kind of stuck a little bit because oh wait a second, what do I have to do here? What's my next step? I try read because C looks like it's a page ready. It's Clori report which has been done. It's the reason I was thinking maybe it's example or it just or I have to remake it again. What I have to do
So I need to make it clear. You're talking about a bug and a task, correct? And those are different things.
Yes. And assignments, it says find 5 defects. So
when I go in, 5 bugs? Did you locate the 5 bugs?
Because I couldn't figure out where it's supposed to be which is supposed to be website or what.
Yeah, this is the Dean's website. Do you see this right here? It's in your lessons.
So it's everything we're working on the same website, right?
Correct.
Okay, right now I understand. I thought we're gonna have additional link, which is attach it to.
No, so this is what you're working at it. You are the user and you are looking for bugs, and I believe Marina went over it. Is that clear?
Yes, right now is it clear? Right now I understood.
Got it, Dimitri. I'm going to move on to Guya and just look at what she typed, okay? Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, Guya, let's see. What do I have to do for my bugs to report in active sprints? I can't change workflows. Actually, you are right. I actually wanted to answer your question. So I wish I could hear you. If you were to go into, let's just say, Project Basic QA5, and this is part of us going over the letters J, Q, L. For those of you who don't know what that means, when you go into the active sprints, and if you're looking for your stuff, if you only want your stuff, you just put over here, only my issues. Guya, can you tell me what it is that you're not seeing? Are you not seeing the, I'm gonna actually see, let me see. Guya? I actually unmuted you and promoted you to panelist. Can you hear me? And I've unmuted you so you can talk. Nope. Okay. Well, these are the quick filters. These are what you are looking to see in the particular sprint. So if you switch the sprint, so this is all sprints. Down here is the main sprint that we're working on, which is this first week. So if you clicked here, then you'll see this particular main sprint of all the bugs that were found right here. There's a lot of bugs that are created right here. And if you want to see issues that you created, you just click here. But you have to make sure you are logged in. Is everybody clear on that? I'm going back to I am going back to our screenshot, and I want to go over it's a bug. What is a bug? If you don't already know, a bug is a software flaw, a failure, something that just doesn't allow a user, if you were a consumer, if you were out in public and you were to use this particular application, software, and there's an issue, it is a bug. But when you're working in the real world, they can't go and fix every single bug. So what they do is they deliver to you for this week or this sprint cycle, a particular user story that says, hey, I need to be able to build something that can log in. When we deliver it over to QA, QA is going to test it based on what the user requirements is in that story. And if there's certain issues, such as a bug, whether it could be a UI bug, a functional bug, anything that's related where that story or that user story can't pass, you guys are going to create it. Questions every bug must answer. What is the exact URL of the site? I know sometimes creating these test cases or these bug reports is redundant. Guess what? QA is redundant because every time you create a bug, you don't know if that bug will go to the same developer. You don't know if that bug will be reviewed by the product owner before it goes to developer. You don't know if that bug will go up to the CEO and he might actually say, wow, who wrote this bug? Who caught this? So you have to make sure you include all of these information when you're creating a bug. You don't ever assume it's going back to developer because it could go back to anybody who wants to look at it or may have something to say about the importance of fixing it or improving that bug. So you definitely want to include the URL of the site. And when you work in a real live company, if you are in an environment where you work in QA, Natalie, one bug, one ticket. Does that answer your question? Okay, one bug, one ticket. And the reason why I say that is if you start combining 5 bugs into one ticket, that's not agile. That's not quick enough for the product owner to push it, to read it. You know, they have to do 5 different parts, so it can't be delivered back to you to test it. So one bug, one ticket, that's it. It makes it easier for the agile process to get fixed. If it's a small little bug, at least they can address it, fix it, and kick it back to you. when you start adding multiple things, that bug can never come back to you until maybe a few weeks later. So you want to make this as quick as possible. Yes, correct. One bug, one report, and you can add links if if like, for instance, one bug addresses an issue where it breaks across different browsers, right? That's essentially one bug, but it appears differently on different pages. So you also have to think in that mind frame. Don't repeat yourself if the same issue looks like it's more of a UI and you just want to attach the bugs. Taking screenshots of the bug. I believe Marina also taught you guys about this. And you want to put what the current result is. For instance, if you're typing in a login and it's giving you an error, you write that information in the bug ticket and what you actually expect it to happen. The actual result that you want to happen when you click login is for it to take in your information and log you in. Again, operating system, we went over this. Are we getting any error messages? And steps to produce. This is Nazar, I believed earlier, provided all this information. Thank you. Is the issue reproducible? Yes, Oksana, it is. In real life, we do have one bug, one ticket. It's mainly that's the way generally everybody in an agile environment want. And at the end of the Q&A, when we get to the Q&A section, ask me this again and I'll elaborate why. The other thing is, how urgent is this issue? And you can put that by the priority. And I believe Marina also went over that with you. And any other information that you guys can provide in the bug report always helps. So I'm going to switch to, I believe, let me see. I want to make sure. One of the things that I wanted to address to you guys. It is the right way, David. It is the right way. And we'll go over specifically what that means. Does anybody know what a burn down chart is? Yes. I'm answering. Anybody? Tatiana, a little? Okay, we'll go over that as well. Okay, now I'm going to go switch back to the Jira board. And I am going to open up questions about the bugs. Let's go ahead. If you guys have bugs, I know that you guys have questions about that, right? Okay, Zakia, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if evidence cannot be provided. For example, I have reported bug that during scrolling down the page, it starts shaking.
We do videos.
Yes, I took a video, but I don't know, like, is it right, like, approach? Like, shall I find the apps, or, for example, there are another bug, like, when I registered, the confirmation email was sent back to my email for verification, but I still could use the site, the DINS, without any verification. So how should I make evidence for this case?
So you always want to do screenshots. You want to put as much description in the bug report as possible. And mainly when you can't put it into words, or you don't have URLs, or you don't have errors, you do a video. But almost always, Zakia, we have the tools that in this particular course, you can right click and get a URL. You can right click and get a hyperlink.
Okay.
You know, in your email, you should be able to see when you direct it, and this is part of creating the bugs, and this is going to be explained as we go on. Exactly, your test case must be extremely efficient, and the likelihood, Zakia, that you can't explain it is never going to happen, because there's always some link. There's always we always have there's this thing called a developer's console, and this is something that bootcamp will go through. You can see, like, the moment you click on something, that URL or that response or that request comes up. So there's never an opportunity where you don't know where it is or what the information is causing the issue. You're just starting in the beginning stages, so it looks overwhelming and all you see is shaking. But you as a QA tester, you're gonna look at the wireframes, you're gonna break everything out, and you'll look at the architecture of all of this and know where to look for the errors. So don't get overwhelmed yet. We're just easing you into just getting you familiar with creating a bug and just understanding what kind of information that needs to go into a bug.
Nice. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, make it easy on you. Don't get overwhelmed yet because it can get really hard really fast.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So I wanted to go over the burn down chart. And let me see if we have any reports here. Backlog, releases. If we go to reports, this is the burn down chart. Has anyone played around with this chart? Give me 1 second to answer a question. So when you are at work, real work, this is what the company monitors. It monitors, we don't have any guidelines yet. We haven't added points. We haven't estimated what stories are going to what certain sprint, but there's a basis. There's a basis in the sense that this is the baseline. So we start from 0 points to how much we need to burn down. So let's just say we need to burn down 200 points this weekend. I mean, this sprint cycle, like it's 2 weeks, 80 hours for those 2 weeks. This is our burn down chart. This tells you how many stories QA is passing. So overall, the company can see how many issues, how many actual stories are actually getting done and completed. That's what a burn down chart is. Simply how much work is QA getting done, the entire team is getting done, but mainly once QA passes it is when the burn down actually moves. It's up to us to make sure a story actually meets the user story, the requirements. Does that make sense? The templates, there's a question here about where we can find the templates. These are all in the LMS that we went ahead and include all the bug template reports, and I can send this to you guys afterwards as well. Okay? Does anybody have any questions right now over the materials that I have? All clear, Oksana. Awesome. No questions, Ella. It's the URL that LMS is the URL where all the homework assignments are, David. Did you not get that URL when you guys started? I will go ahead and send it to you after the meeting. Business. Okay, guys, I want to go over the last, I apologize, we were going over too fast, and I really want to look at a few more other bug report that was submitted by Zakia. I'm gonna pull that up. And you can be in any view. When you want to go back to searching for your ticket, you just hit that search button if you remember it. Windows 10, Opera, Chrome, Mozilla Firefox. One of the other things, if you can, and this happens a lot with a lot of companies that actually only develop web applications, meaning they don't have software, you definitely want to put the version of the Chrome that you are on. For instance, a developer might have the latest version of 77, and they said, I can't reproduce what you're reproducing, Zakia. Do you remember if it was an older version of Chrome? Or did you update to the latest Chrome version that was out, released on Tuesday. So that's something that you definitely want to put the Chrome version number if you have that handy. And do you guys know where to find all the versioning for each browsers you guys test? Yeah, I know it automatically updates on the back end, but if you are using Chrome while you're testing, you should be able to just go into these little 3 little dots, and it always have just go to help and click about. It's about Google, it's about Internet Explorer. See, it's automatically updated. And I set it so that I know when it gets updated. So a lot of times we have developers coming to us and saying, I can't reproduce it, I can't reproduce it. Well, I've updated to the latest 77 and this problem went away. So when you update it and they kick the story back to you, they kick the bug back to you to try to reproduce, and you've updated the Chrome, guess what? The issue doesn't work. So the bug doesn't, you know, sometimes the bug isn't relatable, but what you want to do is you want to say, hey, you know, this issue might happen with people on older versions of Chrome. So definitely make a note when you're testing what version it is. It always happens when you don't make a note of what version browser you're at, and then the developers ask you and you don't remember what it is. So you never want to be, I don't remember. Never ever say that. But impossible to change the date ranges, the same from to displays. So I don't need to be logged in for this, right? Zakia?
Yes, no need to be logged in. You're just
Okay.
clicking from the home page to Nairobi Safari Walk.
So let me see. Do you, when I click this URL, we're going to go to this Nairobi Safari Walk. And you're saying you are having an issue changing date ranges.
Yes.
What do you think is the issue, and what do you think is a better experience?
Yeah, you see, so you're trying to choose the date range and it still says from 21st September till 21st September. So people are not able to actually schedule the
To and from.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. These are, we constantly will refine it and refine it. So what you're trying to say is unable to pretty much select round trip dates to and from, pretty much. Trip dates should be allowed for selections to and from, and even we should have, what is it? This is an airport, this is strictly hotel stay. So we need to be able to stay 1 night, 2 nights. So we'll go, this is great. This is what you need to start, you know, getting accustomed to. So trip date ranges, is this just only on this particular Safari Walk, Zakia, or is it on other trips? Do you know?
No, I have checked it only on Nairobi. Shall I go all the trips? Well, now it's a good question, actually. I didn't thought about it.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Okay, because I'll check on the browsers, but I will take a note that I shall check the.
And this is what I mean when one bug, one ticket. The bug applies to all trips. It's not just the Nairobi. If that is the case, you don't want to just say trip date range doesn't work for Kenya's walk.
Yeah.
That you're going to create 10 bugs with the same issue.
I see. I see. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You're right, Katerina. Let's see. So if we, so this is day 1. How many days are in this trip? So that's an issue too. How do we specify more than 1 days?
Absolutely.
Has anybody
bug
exactly. Has anybody created a bug for this one? So two guests, day 1. Yeah, so that's another bug too.
Actually, there are lots of issues with this Nairobi Safari Walk because like I already created 5, so I didn't want to.
Okay, so just on what you said, what I'm going to do is I am going to go and look at our project. And I am going to do a query. I'm going to do a query, and I'm going to, let's just say, so these are your filters right here. These are the simplest filters that you don't have to understand any kind of query language. When your QA manager says, hey, Zakia, how many open issues do you have? Open issues meaning there's bugs that you've reported and has not been solved. You can go ahead and say, let's see. Well, let me switch. I don't have any bugs because this is me. I haven't created any bugs. So when you do a full search, I am going to look for, I don't want to look for me because I don't have anything here. Is this you?
Yes, it's me.
Let's see. And you just hit search. So all of this is by JQL. Once you get a little bit more exercise in creating the tests, the bugs, the task, and whatnot, you can save these queries so that you don't have to come in here and specify one by one. You can specify, look, I just want a search that has to do with bugs that are opened by me, and then you can save it. And you can literally export it and you can put it on your dashboard chart so that when you come down here, you only look for stuff that are opened by you. And some of them already, Jira is really good about creating self-serving filters already. So you can just come in here and just click reported by me or open issues. So this is pretty much profile stays logged in after account creation. Logged is double G.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's not your fault. This is why we are practicing. Steps to reproduce, sign up. Awesome. This is the email. So I have to be a logged in user to do this. Did not get email confirmation with account confirmation. Actual did not confirm the account via email. I can still continue. Yeah, that's an issue. We don't have authentication, an actual security authentication. So, and I like that you marked this priority high. High because this is a security issue, correct? If you're logged in and if you're supposedly getting an email to confirm your account, you should get that. That is the priority where you list the severity as you're trying to alert the person who's going to receive the bug so that they can prioritize that that's an issue before you guys go live. Quote page doesn't fully display. I don't know if that's a quick priority because, you know, our biggest thing would be we want somebody to log in. Update avatar image. Is that going to break our functionality? Will we still be able to book? That's something that you know, once you get the exercise, is it really that important if we see an image? It could be, you know, you could be on Facebook and that's their thing, you know, they need to see people. That could be a big thing to the company when they rely on people updating their image. So this is pretty much a regular standard reporting by going into Jira and looking for what it is that you created. You know, when you're at work and they says, oh, can you tell me how many open issues you have? I'm gonna go back to, you can literally come down here and, you know, whenever I start, it normally will list 1 out of 6. When I start a company, and I'm gonna tell you that companies are looking for how much effort that you do, and they will look in there. They will actually open up, and could also be part of your performance review, is, oh, well, Zakia logged such and such amount of work, and you can see you've logged 6 bugs. You contributed a lot to the project. And that's how you can tell how much effort. And every little update that you make gets seen by the company. So if you were to go to the View Systems dashboard, this is the activity. Everybody knows exactly what everybody's doing, how involved they are in Jira, and that's why Jira is such a strong tool. When we tell you guys practice, 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 everybody's looking at the bug you created. It might not be you, it might be a CEO somewhere else in a different remote office, but they're looking at every single bugs because everybody's going to say, hey, I didn't think of that. Hey, this came up on my news feed. So you definitely want to make sure that you're including the right information because, again, it might not be the developers who's actually looking at your bug. They might have pushed it to somebody to have them say, hey, you know, Zakia found this, we really need to get this fixed because we cannot have people sign up and not send them a secured account information. So that's why we stress to you that we want to make sure you guys practice. We have sent the information. Let me switch back to our homework assignment. New share. That we want you to practice on creating bugs, and the Dean's master website, as you can see, has so many bugs, and that's the reason why we're doing it, so that you guys can find them and log them.
So for
Does that
now,
make sense?
yes, and I understand, like for now, I should search my bugs and modify them by like checking, like if with date problem, like check 5-6 trips and identify if the problem is only with Nairobi, for example, or it's like overall issue in a Dean. Yes?
Right. Because you know, when you create this bug and you go to a product owner or you go to your QA manager and they're like, Zakia, is this happening for everything?
And I will not be
Oh,
able
well,
to
I
answer.
don't know. I was just checking Nairobi. That was it. Right? You always want to make sure they never take you by surprise. Nope, I tested every single journey, every trip, even if it was day one. You know, then we have the issue where somebody can't even specify more than a day to book this. You know, we have that to from issue where we can't even get that. So you try to explain that to them. You always want to be ahead of the game, and that's what QA is.
I see.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull up this URL. So I want to just go over homework and then we can have some time to ask questions. Hold on for a second. So let's see if this will pull up. And so everybody has access to this, correct? To the basic QA where you're doing your homework. And we want instructions from the TestPro team. I know, David, you were wondering where it is. I'm gonna type the answer. So make sure these are your homework. It's just instructions, rules and regulations, how to use Slack, and documentation. So if you guys can go over this for the next class, and if you guys have any questions, we can go over that. Okay, guys, we are now part of the Q&A, and I am more than happy to open up any questions. Okay. Wait 1 second. Why? Q&A participants. Okay, then. Hi, Nick. Good to hear from you.
Hello. How are
How
you?
are you?
Thanks for asking. Thank you. Thank you. Good. Enjoying the video. So looks like I'm missing something.
What is that?
So we only explore the deans.com, which provide somebody should provide the link for the test website, not for the regular website, right?
What do you mean by test website and regular website? This is the website.
So we can test just going to deans.com and just test it, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you would create bugs, any issues you have in Jira. You have the, I believe you have all of the links.
So just find the bug, capture the picture, make a video, and then
whatever is necessary to create the bug. You have our test case bug report. We included in creating templates, inputting the environments, listing steps to reproduce, what you believe should be the actual expected result, but what's actually current, and you attach logs, you attach screenshots, anything that will make your bug understandable to whomever receives it or fixes it.
Okay, yeah.
Have you created any, Nick?
No, I'm gonna do today.
Awesome. I can't wait to see them. I can't wait to pull up your filter and see how many bugs you've gotten.
Yeah, of course I will do. Because the last Saturday was just, and then when Sunday I joined it to the Jira just tonight. Yesterday.
Okay. And you're getting familiar based on just this demo how to go about creating a bug?
Yes, of course. So
Okay. And we have videos, so practice, practice.
okay, thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome, Nick. Have a good night. Okay, Vahe, you had a question? Vahe?
Yes, yes, hello.
Hi.
Hi. During this webinar, sometimes you answer some questions I can't see, but Marina explained that this is because some people don't choose panelists and attendees. So maybe
Yeah, it depends on what they are using, and if they're, it looks like if they're on an old Zoom or things like that, it looks like the behavior is different, so I apologize.
Can you please ask everyone to use all panelists and attendees, because the question is also important to see what they are asking. Because
Absolutely.
you're answering, but we don't know what you are answering to. And we also want to ask questions, but we politely wait. So
Thank
I don't
you.
know what's going on. That's why it's very important to keep the procedure.
Okay, I will go ahead and make sure we address that in the Slack channel. I appreciate you making that comment.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Did you have any particular questions during the answers to some of the questions that you did not see that you want me to clarify?
Actually, I tried a lot of buttons in my Jira, and finally I was able to see everything which was on your screen. So it was on the left panel. Yeah, so no questions about that.
All right, okay, bye. Well, good night. Again, let us know, and I'll definitely communicate that to everybody in the channel about making sure we're on the same technology and everybody updates their Zoom to the latest and the greatest.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Dash, go ahead. Dash?
Can you hear me?
Dash?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Good evening. So on the first week when we just started the classes, we had the first homework where you just mentioned it earlier. And I did all questions and I answered in the quiz. And somehow it's missing, like, all information, whatever I was doing. And then I tried to renew, which is I did like second time, and it doesn't show in the system that I have done the homework.
Okay. Anastasia is actually one of our panelists and she's on here too. So I'll have her take down your information and investigate what was going on. Did you send our help desk or anybody about this issue?
No.
Okay. So I will have Anastasia follow up with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can send her a message once she
it's not it's not a big deal. I will redo it. It's, just 10 questions each.
Okay.
It's not a big deal, but the problem is why it's missing. Maybe in the future I will have the same problem. Just
yeah, that's why we wanna definitely track it down and see what the issue is. We wanna work with you.
Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. Anything else?
That's all. Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you. Okay, Ella, go ahead. Ella, you had a question? No? Okay. Ella, I hear you. Okay, I'm going to the next person. Ella, I can't hear you. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, Alexandra, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hello, hello. How's the sound?
Sounds great. What's going on?
All right. So my question is, how do companies keep the software QA process organized? Are they assigning special like units to every single software QA engineer, or they do it in a different way?
Are you talking about the process?
Yes, the process. I'm just wondering.
So depending on the company, there's this, there's another component as far as creating a bug. And you guys see my screen with the bug report? There is this right over here. Once it's defined, it's called a workflow. And a workflow pretty much says, once a bug's reported, where does it get kicked back to? Does it go back to the product owner? Does it go back to developer? So they have all these workflow that is defined. And sometimes a lot of that is driven by maybe a priority. So depending on what company you work for, you will understand what workflow they want you to abide by. Sometimes they may just want bugs to be written at the end of the sprint and they'll tackle it next sprint. So it all depends on what company you're working for and how they're establishing their rules and policy and procedures. But pretty much it's what you see here. It's just that what you're missing here is the workflow that the business has already defined, just to make it more structure. Like if you find a bug, it's gonna get kicked back to either product or developer. That's depending on how your company sets it.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Did you have any other
Thank
questions?
you for answer. That's it. Thank you for answer.
You're welcome. Did you create any bugs?
Yes, I did 2 bugs so far.
Awesome.
Because
Cool.
I watched the last lesson maybe like 30 minutes before this class started, so I didn't have enough time to create more.
Okay, we'll make sure to revisit and take a look at everyone's filter to just kind of skim over and see what kind of bugs you guys are discovering. But I appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Katerina, you're next. What can I answer for you? Katerina? You had your hand raised up. Going once.
Hello.
Hi, Katerina. Go ahead.
I had some issues with my MacBook. I have a question about, I need to clarify, when I open a page with all sprints, we can see 3 columns: to do, in QA, and ready for UAT. What does it mean, these columns? When, in what moments I should move my bugs from one to other column? Can you please explain me?
So when you are working in the real world, we have these columns. They might change a little bit depending on the company. But we'll have a column for developers, which is like the to-do. They'll have their to-do, which means anything in that column is for the developers. Once the developers finish, do you see the first story, Katerina, on here? It says BQA5-2.
Yeah.
Once a developer is done, that to-do moves to QA. That's ready for QA to review.
Okay.
Once QA reviews it, if you pull up one of these, so it's called a swim lane, like you're swimming in a lane.
Mm-hmm.
Every single lane is dedicated to someone or some person's title, whether it's the developers, maybe the to-do also belongs to the product owner. It depends on what company does what. So in this particular case, this to-do in my company has to do with developers need to look at this defect. He needs to figure out what the issue is. He needs to jot down what happened, how he's going to fix it. And then once he's done and he's tested on his own, he kicks it to QA. When you press start to QA, this moves from to-do to the QA column. Once QA pulls up this user story in their QA, they're going to not see start QA, but what they'll see is ready for UAT. That means QA is ready. They're going to take it out of this column and push it to here. So who's ever responsible for this column will test this out, and it moves along.
What means UAT?
User acceptance testing. So whoever's responsible, it could be a product owner, it could be maybe your VP that tests the items based on, it depends on the duties in the company. Like for instance, the person who does UAT in my company is the product owner because he was the one who he's the one who wrote the story. So before he allows us to build the product and pushes it out to production, he actually is saying, oh, well, QA said that this story or this bug is fixed and it's ready for me to test. So he's going to go in and take the first ticket and ready for UAT, and he's going to test it himself. And he, as a product owner, is saying, yep, the bug is fixed. I made sure, based on what Katerina told me, it no longer happens. So he moves it and it goes into UAT. So UAT, and it's named differently depending on the company. So once all of these bugs, let's just say 5 gets into the UAT, that means the issue was resolved. And what they do is they said, okay, we fixed these 5. Product looks to be happy with the product, the fixes. Let's go ahead and push the fix to people, the consumers, live. So you go in through these single columns, and that's why what ends up happening is part of your exercise here. You create the bugs in here, and we'll have developers building and addressing the issues. And then by the end of this course, you'll get this back to you guys. And you guys are going to be the person reviewing it to see if the fix works, right? I think earlier we had Zakia where she couldn't select to and from. It's going to be fixed. She's going to be the role playing of the UAT, the person making sure it actually is fixed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Have you created any bugs?
Not yet.
Okay, Katerina, I'm going to do a filter and make sure you're on top of it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, guys, I'm going to lower everyone's hand, and you have I think we have 4 more minutes for more questions if you guys want to chat with me about it. Let's see, I've got the hands. Okay. Anvar, you had a question.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
You hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. So my question is about the same roles to do and the QA and the ready to AT. So we're talking about right now just from the QA workers here. But
right.
As I know, the company has so many different departments, like developers, the programs, the codings, everything like that. So my question is that the same Jira software when we use, so in this, the to do and the QA, the ready to ATC, so it will be so mix it with the all things that we need to do, all the departments, is it?
Yes, so it's a team, and one of the initial homework assignments last week is to understand the software development lifecycle. The software development lifecycle pulls everyone: the product manager, developer, designers, people who are part of making that particular section work. So if let's just say a company needs to build in their login, right? They need to build this website for them to log in, right? Just like the deans, they're building a website for people to locate hotels to and from. Correct, Denver?
Yes.
You need a UI person. You need a product owner. They're going to get all the requirements, correct?
Okay.
That product owner is going to go ahead and give it to the UX UI designer. They're going to create how the login portal should look like. That's in the user stories. These are people are participating in getting this feature delivered. So most likely when you're working in Jira, the UI will put a link in saying when they build this QA, make sure it looks like this, right? Sometimes they don't have task for them. Sometimes they might have task for them in a different Jira bucket. So for instance, if you switch the sprint to the main sprint, when you're looking at all sprints, you're looking at a huge picture of all of like every single 2 weeks. That's too much. That's overwhelming. But when you go into a company, they only look at 1 week. I mean, one sprint, and one sprint is 2 weeks. So you could have the product owner, the developer, the engineer, maybe there's some back-end API person that also needs to get involved. Before it gets to QA, they might tag it to say, oh, we need somebody from front-end developer to look at it, to make it pretty. We need somebody in the middle tier to get all the data in order for front-end to build it. So you'll have tasks. In one ticket, there's a task for every single person that might need to make the ticket work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay, I got it.
Okay, and then once that ticket is ready from to do, they move it to QA.
I got it.
Okay.
Okay, so our job is we are responsible for the second line.
Yes.
Is it like there is a task to do with checking them and put in a QA. After
Correct.
that, when we're finished, we're sending to UAT.
Correct.
So the person
Yeah,
who's
all that you
responsible
care
for
about
that,
is in this column, the QA column.
I got it. Okay.
Every time you wake up and you come into your office, you want to see, hey, do I have any tickets for QA review? Do I have any tickets ready for QA review? That's
If you have, you do that.
bugs.
If not, you're just chilling.
I'm sorry, Anvar, what was that?
I mean, if you have something to do, it's okay. You need to do that. If not, you're just chilling.
Right. Well, no, you're sometimes building test cases for the next sprint that they're going over. So you're always working in 2 weeks. So maybe this week they're doing the login feature, and then next week they're probably going to do the password feature. So they'll probably have you work on creating the test cases and creating the scenarios to test passwords. So you are always busy working on QA.
Okay. That's nice. That's good. Okay,
you're
thank
never
you so
sitting
much.
idle. So
Nope.
and one of the things that I want to add, and I brought that up before, is this task, if it fills up, this affects your burn down chart. So it'll tell you if QA is not pushing the tickets or the bugs or whatever it is that's in the QA column over to UAT. It affects how much work is getting done, because it's tough to say like we are the bottlenecks, but we are the gatekeepers. We can have 5 people working on one ticket, and I mean 5 people meaning developers, the contributors, such as the UI people that need to give us the designs, maybe somebody who needs to give us certain queries to get certain stuff up. They're kicking the story to us. So we need to be able to test it because we've already gotten our test cases together. We should be able to understand what it is to pass this. If there's an issue, we create a bug against it and we kick it back. That's how your burn down doesn't get affected.
Okay, I got it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, I know that there were other questions. Layla, what is your question? And guys, I don't have the time to chat with you, but we're definitely available via Slack. So if we can't get to you, I apologize, but we definitely can answer your question. Layla, what's going on?
Hi, I create one bug, but I don't see my bug in the active spirit. And when
let me go check. Give me 1 second.
It's number 370 bug number.
I'm just going to find by the creator. Let's see.
And when I make a filter only my issues, I don't see 2. Can you explain me why? Because I think maybe I have a mistake when I create the bug.
Say that one more time.
I think maybe I have a mistake, but then I don't see my bug in active issues.
Okay, we're going to look at this right now. I want to see what's going on. I'm just going to switch the filters. So I'm actually going to switch to Is that you, Layla?
Yes.
Okay, let's search. So I'm looking for reporter.
I have a number. Oh, yes, that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why? Okay, and you're saying it's not in the current sprint?
Yes, in active issues, I don't see in active issues my bug.
Okay, let's see, active sprints.
Yeah. And when I make
the status says it's in QA.
Mm-hmm.
It was created and updated. Should be there.
Yeah.
Although it looks like it's in the overall sprint. I will have to move this because do you see how yours is missing the sprint right here?
Where?
There's no, under environments.
Environments, yeah.
There's no sprint right here.
So
there's restrictions in making these changes. And so we have people who are actually looking at your sprint and they'll go ahead and let you know what the reason is. So it looks like you created the sprint. So let me duplicate this. Did you click create?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
And it looks like you created in the entire sprint. So you definitely want to create it.
In basic query.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, that's the problem, yeah? Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry. We're gonna have to cut this short. Yes, the videos will be posted. Somebody asked a question, when will the recorded videos be posted? It will. We're actually trying to push it up right away. Right at this moment, no one is fixing the bugs, just reporting. We should be actually, I think, progressing. Some of them may have fixes, Eddie, but we will go over that later on in the boot camp. And one more. Sorry, Layla. Give me 1 second.
It's okay.
Okay, guys. I will answer one more, and that is from, is it Guya? Guya, do you have one last question?
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
I had the same question like as the Layla. That's why now I know it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. Have a good night, guys. So I am more, I think we have one more. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, Olga, you are on. Olga? Going once? Nope. Okay, guys. I know that you guys had a lot of questions today, and I want you guys to keep on reporting those bugs. Those are awesome. Provide as much information as you can. Our class is done for today, and the homework assignment is to complete. Let me go ahead and make sure we have that. We will post it on the channel as well. It's to complete instructions from the TestPro team, how to use Slack, and documentation. If you can go over whether it's a recording, a video to watch, and how to install certain things, please complete those homework assignments. And if you have any questions, we have team leaders, and we have the Slack channel. Okay, guys, good night. Thank you so much for joining us, and I will talk to you guys later. All right, guys, you're very welcome.